never clocked the game.
A fashionista, a fashion label owner, a publisher, a content creator, and an influencer. How did you get to that level?
So where you think it's like cringy, like, this, I'm not really that, I'm not comfortable. On the other side of that, that's where your success is.
Marriage central, look, like you just need Wi-Fi on the phone.
Everybody has a phone. Everyone's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Just have to get in front of people.
No money is worth someone's life, though. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome back, baby, to the best show on YouTube. We're helping people unplug from the matrix and live life on their own terms.
We are for the entrepreneurs, the dreamers,
Tell them again.
the believers,
Say it from the roof.
and those challenging the status quo.
But guys, today's a bit of a special episode.
Today we are joined by someone who's lived the influencer dream. You know, they decided to take it deeper and actually turn one of their passions, one of their interests into a real business. So we have Patrick here, who unplugged from vanity, metrics, and built something sustainable. So I want to welcome the entrepreneur, the fashionista, the fashion designer, the fashion label,
Say it again.
the publishing,
Bad boy.
Uptown P, man. Welcome.
There we go, there we go.
I don't think I could have intro myself better than that.
But guys, in standard procedure, and P, I've got a bit of a would you rather that we normally standardly do. So it's a bit of a situational test, a circumstantial, hypothetical, where I sort of give you an environment, you sort of let me know whether or not you do it. Okay. Cool, and I'll start with you, and JP, you can give me your response as well. Cool. So the would you rather is, imagine if you had a button that granted you £1 million every single time you pressed it. But with each press, a random person would die. Part A, would you press it? Part B, if you did press it, how many times would you press it?
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
You thinking? 100 times. Just get out of the way, bro.
You know what, yeah? I'd like to say, but I'll press it.
I said you would spam that button.
Spam the button, but the real me, I couldn't, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't know them. You don't know them. Like you don't know like their background or anything. Just to kind of give you a bit of context. You don't know them from nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, but you just know randomly. As soon as you press that,
Someone's
going.
gonna
Them
go.
ones. I thought you actually meant someone in your family.
That's
or
what I was
something.
thinking.
no. That's
Oh,
a bit.
just
That's
a random.
A random.
In that case,
No, I think someone in your family would be a bit too gruesome. That would be a bit too gruesome. But I'm thinking someone completely random. But it could equally be a child. It could be a single mother. It could be someone of that kind of like demographic.
I gotta be honest with you, man. I probably wouldn't press it. Probably wouldn't press it. Money, no money is worth someone's life, though. You know what I'm saying?
I hear
I
you.
like that.
I hear
No
you.
money is really worth someone's
JP,
life.
what are you saying?
I can really know what you're. I really know what you're gonna say.
the
But
Nigerian.
no, do you know what? Before you just said that, now you've made me feel bad. But yeah, like you said, I think could I live with that conscience, knowing that this button has just taken someone out? Like you said, a child.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
you could take someone from their mum. I'm doing it. No, no, I don't think I would. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
We already know what you're doing.
I'm pressing that, bruv. I'm telling you, I'm just, bruv. There's worse people in the world, you know what I mean? People die every day. You know what I mean? If it's for a bit of change, it's for a bit of change. But yeah, I'll press at least 5 times, you know, quick little 5 more.
Ah, man.
Quick little 5 more, you know what I mean? It's got to be done.
ones.
If someone else doesn't do it,
I won't even judge you still.
You know what?
I might
I'm
even
gonna
ask you to
judge
let me
you,
hold
bro.
sign. I
I'm
might
gonna
ask you to
judge
let me hold sign after,
and that's
though.
what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, man, them dubs, let's go to all on me. Taking a private jet, bro. Or did this cost like just 10 people? But it's fine. But yeah, cool. Guys, please let us know in the comments. What would you rather do? How many times would you press the button? If you would, let us know. Let us know.
And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share,
Please do.
subscribe,
Always.
comment, tell a friend.
There we go. There we go.
Cool. So guys, this episode is for anybody building a personal brand, posting online, or dreaming of that influencer lifestyle. And I just want to say, likes are not cash. You have to know how to build a real business, and that's where the ownership is. Ownership is a legacy.
Okay, cool. But before we even get into that, guys, we obviously need to get a bit of a origin story of our special guest today. So P, please tell the people, you know, a bit about yourself, you know, what you currently do, how you came about doing what you do right now, and if this was sort of part of the journey.
Yeah, so as everyone knows me as Uptown. That's what everyone calls me. But obviously my name is Patrick. So initially I started out like a long time ago. Let's say, not even sure, maybe when I was like very young. My cousin started a clothing brand called Ferraducci.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So he started that, and I was like obviously in school and everything. And then obviously he would be like, oh yeah, he's doing basically everything with his clothing brand and stuff like that. And obviously I was excited, like, yeah, trying to wear everything, etc., etc. And then one time he gave me a tracksuit to wear to school on clothes day. So you already know, I'm like, that's like my favorite day of the year.
Yeah,
like,
course,
I'm a fashion guy, so that's my favorite day of the year.
Yeah.
So he's giving me a tracksuit to wear, and obviously I've worn it to school, and then I've come back, and then like I've got like 4 or 5 people come to try and buy the tracksuit as well from my cousin.
Wow.
So then he was like, huh? Like, I didn't really understand that at the time, but he's thinking, bro, this guy could actually sell a tracksuit like just from wearing it like that. So then I think from there, he just kind of just maybe thought it was like a bit of a fluke. So he'd be like, all right, cool, yeah, no, I'll have this then. Do you know what I mean? He might let me hold a few things, and then I'd kind of literally like do the same thing. Fast forward, like he brought me into the brand, and then just then the rest was kind of history. Like I was proper in the clothing brand, and that was my first like fashion experience. So besides that, I didn't know that was like the path that I wanted to take, because I was doing finance. So I was studying finance. So
that's complete on the other
so I was
side,
like studying finance, accounting and finance, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of how it worked out. The clothing brand was going really well. It was like probably one of the first streetwear brands in London that actually was like big in the whole of the UK.
Yeah.
So I think that was my first encounter with the fashion industry and my first experience. But yeah, aside from that, I was mainly studying and working in finance.
Okay.
So I want to say fast forward today, because I just want to say I feel like the intro didn't do him any justice, because this guy's a fashionista, a fashion label owner, a publisher, a content creator, and an influencer. How did you get to that level?
Okay, so
or what was that part of that journey? Where did that kind of start?
So after like the clothing brand situation, we kind of all sort of parted ways. And obviously I had already built quite a good relationship with a lot of people within the industry. So I was sort of looking at it, like I started seeing a lot of social media starting, like different apps coming around. So I could just like kind of forecast that this was going to be like the next thing. So I didn't want to start a clothing brand, but I wanted to do something in fashion. So I thought, cool, I will start like a community-based sort of like product where I feel like people could connect with different creators around the world. So I started Dress Code Nation. So what that essentially was like a platform where creators could connect around the world, because I started to notice that was one of the biggest issues that I had when I was traveling. So if I would go Milan, like there's a language barrier, and aside from the language barrier, it's not like now. You know, like now when you go on Instagram, you could type in, you could be in LA if you want, or you could be in Bermuda, and there'll be like creators in Bermuda. But them times you couldn't do that.
Of course,
You wouldn't know where everyone's from.
Of course, yeah.
So that was essentially what it was. So started that, and then obviously kind of got a lot of creators together and built like a quite big community. And then through that, like that kind of evolved into an online blog and magazine. So then, like I started creating a bit of content myself, because at that time I was more like behind the camera.
Is that a natural transition as well, like coming from behind the camera to in front of the camera?
Nah. People that are usually behind the camera stay behind the camera. And people that are in front of the camera like are used to being in front of the camera. So for me, it was a hard transition. It wasn't easy. It was like...
It wasn't natural.
Yeah, it wasn't really natural. Not that I was nervous of being in front of the camera, but I was just like, it weren't something that I was used to coming from where I come from.
Of course.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah. Do you get me? I'm trying to actually do the work. So then just a few people kind of like said to me, you know what, like you shouldn't be hiding, you know, like it would make life much easier. You put yourself in front of the camera, then everything that you're kind of looking for will probably come to you.
Yeah, literally.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
And I think there's a lot of people like that who are kind of scared to get in front of the
Yeah.
camera. Like they don't want to put themselves out there. But like in this modern day age and era, like you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah,
So,
man. Like that's what basically what it is. It makes life much easier as well.
And just for the people as well, like who might even be in a sort of similar situation, whether like this also on the come up or again very used to being behind the camera. Like, what's like one of the main things for you that kind of gave you that, if not confidence, which I don't think was a problem, but just that reality or that eye opener, like, okay, cool, I actually need to be in front of the camera?
I think, like, you're your biggest enemy. And I think what people are scared of for being in front of the camera is the judgment of others that's around them. Do you know what I'm saying? But in reality, no one cares, right? That's what people care less than you think. You know what I mean? Someone might say some comments to you like, come on, when I started going in front of the camera, of course my friends are going to be laughing, sending in a group chat. He thinks he's a, what's it called? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just natural banter.
Yeah, of course.
But in reality, everyone's kind of like happy for you anyway. And the people that have got an issue with it, that's their own issue. Do you know what I'm saying? But 99% of the people that's out there that you're targeting, they're not people that know you. So that's like, that's their first encounter with you. So I feel like the thing that people are nervous about is what other people think. Like, I'm telling you, no one cares as much as you think they care. So
true.
Yeah,
so once you realize that, and then you realize that you're blocking your own self because you being in front of the camera can get you to where you want to get to. You know what I mean? I saw something on Instagram one time where it said something like, that thing that you think is cringy, that cringe is like your step away from success is on the other side of cringe.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So where you think it's like cringy, like, oh, nah, I'm not really that. Nah, I'm not comfortable. On the other side of that, that's where your success is. You know what I'm
And
saying?
we always say that, like, a part of becoming successful and growing, you have to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, if you stay the same, you're gonna
Be the same.
be the same. Like, you have to
Yeah.
do something different. And a lot of people expect, to get results from doing the same things over and over again. So,
Exactly.
you have to get uncomfortable. Sorry, jumping in now.
Yeah. So obviously then from there, we kind of just like was building the community. I started getting in front of the camera slightly, and then I started to notice like, oh, cool. Aside from me working with brands and kind of doing something from the community perspective, like as an agency and consulting with brands, like brands are actually reaching out to me directly to do things.
Okay.
And it's making it easier because now I've got the direct contact of the person that's doing like partnerships or whatever. So now it's like just a natural conversation. Oh yeah, do you know what? I've got X, Y, and Z. Oh, is it? That's interesting. Maybe we should do something like. So it was just like, it was much easier for me to kind of like pivot into that sort of position. So yeah, so that kind of like started growing my own personal brand. I started working with.
So can I ask when that was, date-wise, just to give them some perspective? Because a lot of people think this is an overnight success thing.
Okay,
like
so
success. So just to give people a bit of perspective on the time frame.
Okay, so I started Dress Code Nation, the community, like in 2013. 2013, officially 2014. Then I would say like I was posting my own content around those times, but not like active. And I would say I got probably a bit more active around 2016, 2017.
So a few years.
Yeah. So
wow.
it takes 10 years, bro. You can't. There's no way out.
You can't rush greatness.
You can't rush it. 10,000 hours got to be done either at the beginning or at the end. It's one or the other.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
So yeah, so then I would say 2016, 2017, I started putting myself more in front of the camera. I'll say it took a little bit of time for brands to start reaching out properly. And then I would say like I got a decent rhythm around 2018, 2019. You know?
Started to pick up in that.
Started to pick up. And then COVID hit.
Oh.
The pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So when the pandemic hit, I'd already had a bit of a profile now. You know what I mean? Online. Not a crazy profile, but I had a little bit of a profile. People kind of knew me as like for my own self.
Yeah, in the scene.
Aside from the community stuff, like aside from Dress Code Nation. So then I was like, you know what? I wanted to separate I wanted to make some merchandise because I had an event I was supposed to do with a brand called Fiorucci. How ironic.
Oh,
So this is an Italian brand. I think, Fiorucci.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've seen it.
I think I've seen
It's
that.
like the two
yeah.
angels on the logo.
Okay,
yeah,
I've seen it,
yeah.
the two angels, yeah. Like
yeah. So they're a big brand. So I was supposed to do an event for them.
Mhm.
And then one of the people that was working there said to me, if you had like merchandise, it would have been a good collaboration sort of thing. So then I was thinking, oh, this is like the era where collabs are big, like Virgil's doing like Off-White collabs, this is happening, that's happening. There's so much collabs happening, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what, let me just make some merch in case like we want to do something and it's, so I just thought nothing of it really. So I made the merch and then it just went like mad.
Oh, wow.
Like online during COVID time. So that's where the brand started.
Okay.
So that's when I was like, oh, cool. But then again, I realized, you know what, sometimes when people want something from you, yeah, like that's what you have to give to them. Because everyone kind of knows me as the guy that was selling clothes back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I was like kind of pushing it away. Like, nah, I don't want to do clothing. I don't want to do clothing. Do you know what I mean? But in the end, it was like, that's what everyone wanted from me as well. So
And you got to give the market what they want.
That's it,
literally.
man.
You have to,
That's
man.
it.
Yeah, that's a full circle moment.
yeah, so that's what was like kind of fulfilling from that as well. So I'm still pursuing the clothing brand and that's going kind of all right as well. Got the magazine and then of course my own brand too.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
When would you say sort of in this journey, right, from sort of like 2013 to like even now, would you say it was like, all right, cool, like this is me. This is it. Like when was like, it's like I'm all in, right? When was it sort of when you saw when the personal brand kind of route and sort of like, you know, in 2000, when you started in 2000, like sort of like 16, 17, or was it, would you say when it's COVID, when you started doing the collabs, like when was you like, I've clocked the game now? Like this is it.
You've never clocked the game. Yeah, that's one thing.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I would say when I was like, nah, I'm in, I'm all in. Probably around when I started putting myself in the camera, I'll say like 2017 time.
Okay.
You can't afford for this not to work.
Yeah,
You're
like
putting
I'm
yourself
not.
out
You roll
there
the
like
dice
that.
now. You know what I'm saying? You roll the dice now, bro. You have to commit.
You have to
Yeah.
commit.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I would say like around 2017, I was
Okay.
like, cool, I'm going all in.
Okay.
Like, this is me now.
All right. And just to kind of, again, like JP said, because I still feel like, you know, P's been a bit humble with a lot of the stuff he's doing. He's been with a couple some big people, international artists. So maybe like, are you able to sort of give what you can? So like an insight in terms of like a couple of the brands that you've worked with, some of like, you know, the celebrities that you've worked with and how some of those kind of interactions come about from even like when you first started, just to kind of give people a perspective of where you're starting to where you can go type thing. Yeah.
So, you know what, it's not even that I'm trying to be humble, but sometimes I'm like, I forget about
Them
all
ones.
of the, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm so focused on
The next move.
always.
So it's not that I'm not appreciative or I don't I don't remember those moments.
But you're always on moving forward.
We've met probably. I've worked with nearly all of the UK artists from Unknown T to like people like D Block Europe. Who else?
So many that he forgot.
Too many. What a privileged position.
No.
Or we're even going like international. I think I saw like
International.
I think I saw like Lil Baby that you met up with him. I think
Baby. No, I don't think I met Baby. Ghana. I met Ghana.
Ghana.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
it
think
was Ghana. Yeah, Ghana.
Yeah, Ghana.
Ghana. So how did that even come about? Like, was that
So
a
we were
show?
in Fashion Week. We were at Paris Fashion Week.
Oh, Paris Fashion Week. Okay.
Yeah. So we were at Paris Fashion Week, and I was wearing like some mad jacket. And I think Ghana saw it, and he was like, "Yo, that jacket is fire," kind of thing. So then we just started like chatting quickly, and I was telling him what I do. I showed him a couple of the stuff that I make, and he was like, "Yo, when he's in London, like,
that's it.
Let me know, etc., etc." So, yeah, a lot of those things. Sometimes when I meet them type of people, it's good, but I usually meet a lot of celebrities outside of the UK.
Okay.
Like when we're at Fashion Week, or just like normally outside of the UK, because I feel like in the UK is a bit difficult. You know what I mean? In terms of
people keep to themselves type thing.
Yeah, and people are not really outside like that. Like in London, for some reason, you wouldn't go out and just randomly see an artist or a celebrity or someone that's like got notoriety. But I've been in Paris, for example, and I'll meet like M. Huncho, I'll meet this person, I'll meet that person, and it's like casually, we're all like just casually working together. So
make the link there.
So I would say like it's probably easier outside of London. than it is for me in London.
I wanted to ask, like, what was the moment when you maybe realized that being an influencer, so like promoting other people's stuff is great, but I need to do my own thing? What was maybe that moment where you kind of pivoted? Now I've got my own fashion label, I'm doing this, I got my magazine. What was that moment for you?
So the thing is like with my journey, like as I kind of explained, I always wanted to have my own thing first. Do you see what I'm saying? So I started with my own thing first, and then tried to build my brand, like my personal brand, to sort of leverage that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I would say they got to a stage where I was like, I think it's when I started the brand.
Okay.
When I made the merch, because I didn't actually think about the merch as something tangible that was gonna make me a lot of money or help me in the future, like that. I was more assuming that Dress Code Nation or myself, I probably do better. But then when I like dropped the merch, I was like, do you know what? This is like way better. This is tangible. This is something like I'm selling to people that don't know me, that's never met me, or like it's going further. I'm seeing the orders from Bermuda. I'm seeing orders
global
from
now.
Yeah,
You
the
open
reach,
your shop
the
do you
reach
know what
is
I mean?
crazy. Yeah.
It's completely different, and like some of those people genuinely do not know me.
Wow.
Do you understand? So I feel like that's the point where I was like, you know what, as someone that's like in front of the camera or doing a lot of content creation, I think that was the moment where I thought, yeah, you got to have something. And then I had another moment when I was creating content as well, and I was like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm getting too comfortable with this creating content life. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just felt like there was a period where things weren't going that great, because online you will never know. Do you see what I'm saying? Because people only post
The
What they
good
want you to
stuff.
see.
the good stuff.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not-
yeah.
Yeah.
But which is fair anyway,
Yeah.
because why am I gonna post when I'm sad in my room? Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that gonna do?
Yeah,
Do you see what
especially
I'm
you're trying to
saying?
build a brand with
Yeah,
authority.
yeah,
and
yeah.
And plus, this is your CV. You want to look at it and be
Yeah.
proud.
Oh, yeah,
Do you know
all
what I'm
positive,
saying?
yeah,
Or you want to
100%.
look at it and feel motivated. Like,
Yeah.
bro, I remember this. Like, so when people say that, I'm like, why do you want someone to post when they're sad? That don't make no sense.
Yeah, 100.
So anyway, yeah, I was doing.
so true.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That don't make sense. So anyway, I was like, things were going kind of good. And then I got to this period where it was like, it weren't going that great. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was relying a lot on like the other stuff, like sort of agency work, the brand and things like that. And I was just like, bro, you know, if this thing wasn't here or it wasn't consistent, what would you do? Like, what would I do? Luckily, I've got some things that I can rely on, but I'm not putting enough effort into it. Do you know what I'm saying? To the point where I feel like that's sustained. And if I was doing this or not, do you know what I mean? That would always be cool. So that's when I was like, nah. Do you know what I mean? I've got to definitely figure out how to like make a life outside of, or using the brand that I've built to kind of
Create something a bit more tangible.
Yeah, much more tangible.
Okay. What would you say are some of the aspects of, you know, being a creator, being in sort of like the fashion world that some people don't see? Like, what's the reality? Like a, whether it be like a day to day, or even like what you just sort of mentioned, so like a bit of like a down period as well. Like, just to kind of give people a bit of perspective who are also kind of looking to do what you're trying to do as well.
Oh, there's so many. I could tell you like loads. So, like I said earlier, that it's not always high. You could be having like, you know, someone could look at your engagement, for example, and think, right, your engagement is banging. I know people that's got like banging engagement, they don't get no emails in. Do you know what I'm saying? There's no inquiries, there's no deal, there's no partnerships, there's no, they don't, and they're sitting in their house with like probably 20-30% engagement rate and no opportunity. And also they're so popular, they feel embarrassed to work. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're like constantly battling yourself. So that's like a big issue, is that you're in constant battle with your own mind. You understand? Because sometimes you might look at someone and think, well, that person gets X, Y, and Z, but I don't get no opportunity. But I've got X and I've got this. So you're constantly comparing yourself.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, for our audience, how would you say you get over that kind of mental battle and block? Because we speak about it all the time, but it'd be good to hear your perspective. Like, 'cause you hit that barrier. How do you kind of get over that?
The thing is, it's a natural, it's just a natural feeling to see someone doing something and be like, oh, wow, like, do you know what? I would love to be doing that as well. You know what I mean? But it's your heart is wherever it takes you to being jealous or to motivate yourself to do better. You know what I mean? But the thing that I always do is I see people doing good and I'm like, raw, that's sick. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to be getting onto them type of levels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Motivates you.
Yeah,
No,
man,
definitely.
that's sick.
Yeah, inspires
There's nothing wrong with that. That's sick.
Mm.
I need to be getting on them type of levels too. I need to be working with brands on that sort of level as well. But I just think, you know what? I'm only me and that person's only them. Do you get it? Like, you can never be someone else, one. And two, it's like your time will come. Do you get what I'm saying? Everyone has to put in their 10,000 hours. Like, I saw someone the other day that recently has been getting loads of opportunities, like, in our field. And he was talking about, you know what? He'd been doing this thing for, like, over 10 years.
Mad.
Like, in front of the camera.
Mad.
So remember, like, I wasn't in front of the camera at first. So I'm looking at him thinking, raw, his thing just started going crazy, like just overnight.
And then he gave
in my mind.
backstory.
Then he gave a backstory.
Yeah, context.
He gave context to it and said, look, I've been doing this like over 10 years and I know like 10, 12 stories, 15, 20 stories that's like that.
Flipping out.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that people got to realize is like, it's not just...
sunshine and rainbows.
It's like, it happens, but people are putting in like
hours.
There's backstory, man.
Hours, bro.
crazy.
People have
Behind
got
the
work
scenes.
rate. People are not like, do you know what I'm saying? And people are a bit more strategic with how they're doing things as well. So I feel like when watching others and looking at yourself, just try as hard as possible to just think about you and where you started and how much progress you've made. Because once you look at it like that, you see where I started and where I am now, it's like two different places. So that's good.
Yeah, no, as long as you're moving the needle, I suppose.
That's it. Yeah.
I was going to ask, for our audience, and I know me and you have like conversations about this, what advice would you give someone who's like building a personal brand and maybe doesn't know how to own it, or they're just starting out in their content creation, time frame. What advice would you give to that person?
That's just starting out.
Yeah, trying to build a brand in 2025 and be a content creator.
I would say, firstly, like consistency. That's like probably the most important. Secondly, you've got to look at the platforms. Like, I would say TikTok is probably the most lucrative platform or the easiest platform to grow. It's TikTok.
Yeah.
I would say. So look at using TikTok. You know. What else would I say? I would say look, think about the person that is most similar to where you want to get to, for example.
Okay.
Yeah. Think about that person. Study how they create their content, the things that they do, what makes them different, what it is about them that you like. You know what I'm saying? And then look at your own personal qualities and figure out, okay, cool, how can I bring out my personal quality or my personality through my content? How can I do that? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because it might not work in the beginning, it might be slow, but once like one thing works out for you, which will definitely happen because we're on the internet, you know what I mean? You're definitely going to get a piece of content that's going to travel further than all your other content.
Yeah,
people are going to go back and be like, oh, okay, this person's consistent with that thing that I like about them. So that's one thing that I would say. But try it all, like try all platforms, because Instagram's good, TikTok's good, YouTube Shorts is good, YouTube is good. Like every platform works. Stream if you like to stream. Try it all.
Would you advise doing all at once? Or because I know there's a lot of, even I've seen online, people say that when you're starting out creating content, stick to one platform. What's your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't say stick to one. I'll probably do about two.
Okay.
because I think you can post the same content on both platforms.
Yeah, just
So like
leverage it.
Instagram and TikTok. Like you could post the same thing on Instagram and you could post the same thing on TikTok. I don't think that's too much of an issue. So I wouldn't say just stick to one personally. But I don't know it all. Do you know what I'm saying? For some people it might work.
Yeah.
But I would just say, like, I spoke to someone the other day and he said he posts the same thing, like one content, and he posts it everywhere, even on Snapchat.
Okay.
And then a brand reached out to him with a 15K partnership.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from Snapchat, and he hardly posts on Snapchat.
There you
Do you understand? So
there you go.
And he doesn't even use it like that much. And this is the same content he posted on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So he never got opportunity like that from there. He has, but I'm saying it didn't come from there. It came from, which is a platform that he used once a month. So I would say, like, do you know what I mean? You could take that and use that information.
And by the sounds of it, like, you just got to try various different things because you just never know what's going to work. You have to try, man.
100%. I've got also another question for you, P, as well. Like, I know some people may think as well, like the current industry that you're in, like respectfully speaking, that the barriers to entry are low. Like, you just need Wi-Fi and a phone, right? So maybe again for people who are looking to start in 2025, right? We say like, there's a lot of people doing content creation. There's a lot of people like creating personal brands. Is this something that should even worth attacking? Especially if you're telling me I've got to put my 10,000 hours in. I'd rather put my 10,000 hours in some property or like do a little, become a barber or a hair salon or like a beautician or something like that. Why should I go into this kind of world of like fashion, content creation when like literally anyone can do it? Like, is it still worth doing it? Basically, is what I'm trying to say in 2025.
I definitely think it is, because I think if you think about the barriers to entry, they're very low. So if you look at property, for example, because you just mentioned property, property is very good as bricks and mortar. You know what I mean? You know what it is, as tangible as there. And it's been around for years. So, you know, it has its periods, but generally, you know what you're getting once you put your money into property. But I think if you look at the social media world, every brand in the last 5 years has pivoted to social media and digital media. Hence, there's like so much opportunity there. So for something that costs you literally nothing, something that you don't have to even invest in terms of like, you don't actually have to invest, because some people just pick up their phone, which they would have whether social media was there or not.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you would have a phone. So pick up their phone and just speak to the camera. You know what I mean? Pick up their phone. People have started careers from taking a photo of themselves going to work every day.
Mad.
Like, people have grown millions of followers from picking up their phone and on their way to work every day, just taking a selfie in the mirror. Like, and this is something that I'm telling you as a fact. So I would say like it's an opportunity that's there, you know? So if it's something that you have a bit of interest in, it's worth exploring, because the barriers to entry are so low. And although there is so many people doing it now, which makes it, I wouldn't say makes it difficult, but it definitely throws a spanner in the works, even for us as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Because now you've got, like, look at my brother, for example, He's 10 years younger than me. His motivation to do certain content is like way more than mine. Do you understand? So I look at him sometimes, I'm like, these are the people that we're
up against.
We're up against.
The competition has gone 10 times.
This is not a joke now. I'm like, yo, this is serious, you know.
Okay.
And that's my brother. So, do you know what I mean? So I think it's definitely worth it, because people have started within the last year or two and they're making like salaries that they would be making at work.
It's crazy. From
being at home and just creating content. So if it's something that's of interest, definitely, why not? And I feel like it can help whichever industry you're in anyway.
100%.
Because I see loads of people that's in the property business on social media. I see loads of people that's in tech on social media. I see people that's in automobile industry and they're on social media.
Okay.
And it's helping or leveraging whatever it is that they've got going on.
And I think it would be, because when you really think about it, that's where all the eyes are. If you want to get in front of people, everybody has a phone. Everyone's on either TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You just have to get in front of people, and you just, like you said, you never know what can happen from putting yourself out there, what opportunities can come about, like where you could be in the next 12 months if you just stayed consistent creating content.
That's it.
No, 100%. Obviously, for me, if I was one of the sort of like listeners or viewers watching, see me, I'm a numbers guy. You know, people would tell you. So I was like, okay, cool. So P's talking this stuff about, you know, this content creation, but what's the reality? Like, how much money, what type of opportunities can be yielded if I'm to be consistent at this for like the next 12 months, 3 years, 5 years? Like, what type of opportunities? Are we talking like a few £1,000s, couple £100 from a little brand that wants you to do a shout out on the story? Like, what's the reality of in terms of like, the income that you can make?
So not to be too like specific, but how can I put this?
See me, I'm trying to pocket
I know,
watch.
I'm thinking, bloody hell, you're sticking on the pressure, bro.
Trying to little pocket watch. We can bleep it, don't worry. I'm joking, I won't bleep
But not. But look, I won't speak about me specifically.
just like
because I've done loads of campaigns, for example. So I can speak about campaigns. Yeah. Now, there's some talents that's out there with, for example, under 20,000 followers making like easily 30K plus a year.
Damn.
Like easily.
Damn.
There's some people that's got 100,000 followers and they might not even be making 10K in a year. You know? So it's very, there isn't a consistency in terms of how much you make
in relation to your following.
Audience of followers.
Do you understand? So it's all quite individual, but generally, a micro influencer now, because of UGC content, can make.
So just for people who don't even know what like UGC content is.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So let's just say a micro influencer is probably someone that's got around under 10,000, I think.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that one though, but something like that. UGC is user generated content. So that's like if a brand wants you to make content for them to use on their own platform.
Oh.
So you won't post it on your platform.
Oh.
So this is really big now.
Okay, that's massive. So like saying if, I don't know, I had like a new candle and I wanted like a model effectively.
Yeah.
To kind of, okay, so
just say you're Nike, for example, and you've got some new trainers coming out. They could either use you and say, yeah, we want you to promote X, Y, and Z, and we're going to pay you X to do that. Or, simply. Or they could be like, instead of you posting it on your channels, we've already got like 20, 30, 50 million followers on our own social accounts that we're going to boost. So you just create the content for us. Don't worry about that. We'll just send it to me.
No.
And then we're going to post it.
Damn.
Do you understand? So you don't even have to post it. So that's what's essentially turning it into like more of a job.
So I got a question. Like, we spoke about engagement and people having big followings and people not potentially making money from having a big following. What is a defining thing that brands look for? I.e., what would make someone pick your brand over somebody else's who's doing something similar?
So generally, I can say with me, I would say for me personally, I think brands like the fact that I've got a small community. Like they look.
So I'm not trying to give away your secrets. And
no. But I'll say it's not a problem. Like, but they view me as a bit of a tastemaker.
Okay.
Which, do you know what I'm saying? Where they feel like, yeah, I might not have the greatest following or the greatest engagement, for example, but like what I would wear matters. Like the right people, do you know what I mean?
Relevant.
Appreciate it within the community. Like
respected.
Within the community, they will say like, when it comes to fashion, you can mention me, and people be like, okay, cool, fair enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's that element to it. Some people, I could say storytelling.
Okay.
So
elaborate.
So when I say storytelling, if you think about some creators, and you watch their content, you're just locked in. Do you know what I mean? Like from the first 5-6 seconds, you're just tuned in. You're checking them out every day, like every update that they've got. You're just tuned into what they're doing because they've got good storytelling. You know what I mean? So it's not really about anything else. It's just how they
That's captivating.
Yeah,
Hook
captivating.
people.
Yeah.
Engage.
So you're just engaged. It doesn't matter what they look like. That's not really an issue. So there's that. So I would say that's a huge thing is storytelling.
Storytelling is a popular one.
Storytelling. And then I would say, what's like your individual, obviously we're all different people, so everyone has something that's special about them. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of focusing on what that is or figuring out what it is.
I was going to say, because that's not
it's hard
easy.
to figure out.
It's hard to figure out. Like,
That's what takes time. It's figuring it out. Then once you're figuring it out, it's like, how do you package that?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Or how do you make that come across through content or through whatever it is that you're doing? So I would say like that really. And then, yeah, man, it's just standard, because when you meet someone, it's like, what is it about someone that you like or you become cool with people? You know what I mean? You could go in a room with 20 people. You might only connect with one person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you might go into many rooms, like when I'm with John in the gym and everyone's like, yo, John. You get what I'm saying? Like, do you see what I'm saying? There's something about him that everyone gravitates towards, So it's just about figuring out what that is, packaging it in a way and making it show through the content.
Okay.
And that's the skill. The skill's not really like how much audience you've grown. That's the skill. The skill is just there. It's like figuring out what it is about you that people like or that's going to keep people engaged. And then
I feel like you're talking to me directly.
It's got to improve his content.
I'm going to have to hire you after this.
Well, I've got two quick questions. I know we're short for time. My first question is, what about if the thing that I like isn't like sort of like naturally like something that a lot of people would like appreciate? Like obviously you're in fashion. Fashion is massive. That's an international concept. But I don't know, maybe like some of my hobbies is, and I personally actually just like going to cinema. I'll go to cinema by myself.
That's even better.
So saying if that's my thing, like how would like maybe for people listening, like, oh, I've got a hobby, I've got an interest that it's not like widely like so like
that. So niches is another thing. Like, what's your niche? Like, I like fashion, but fashion, if you ask anyone, like everyone likes fashion because everyone puts on clothes every day. So that's just a natural thing. But for something like that, that's like a niche. And I think with niches, you're even better. Like you've got more chance of actually getting opportunity as opposed to someone like me, because with me, there's thousands of people that are into fashion. There's fashion influencers. Like you just scroll on your phone now, we'll probably see 10 or 20. But how many people we're going to see that's interested in going cinema, which is something that people do. You know what I'm saying? But there's people on platforms where they review and like movies. They work with Netflix, Paramount. And I mean, like, they're probably getting bigger checks than people in fashion, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of people probably have an interest, something that they're good at, but they don't really feel like it's relevant.
Yes, it's
or there's
warranted.
not. Yeah, it's warranted. But I would go as far as out. You know, I'm always online and reading a lot. Like there is an audience. If you like it, 9 times out of 10, there's another 100,000 people who like it, and you don't need a big audience to make good money online. So I definitely, throw that in, man. Like, guys.
It's best to do stuff that you have an interest or a hobby in, because when you speak about it, you speak about it with passion.
And confidently as well.
Yeah. So people will see that.
Okay.
So, man.
Appreciate it.
So and I was gonna say, guys, so there you have it. Like if you're building, a brand online or you're a content creator, it takes time. It takes consistency.
It wasn't done overnight.
It takes, breaking through the mental blocks that we all go through as entrepreneurs. But we kind of have to push through and just, finding out what your hidden talent is and packaging it in a way to the world. And there will be an audience out there who appreciates it, even if it is going to the cinema by yourself.
So you made that new account, Freeman _cinemas.
Freeman's Reviews.
Yeah, Freeman's Reviews. View Cinema, hit me up. Got that check, baby. All right, no. But standard, as part of sort of like the standard thing before we wrap up, we always like to do an element or a segment of the show called Plug Bites, right? And this is where we sort of give an insight. It could be a fact. It could be a quote, something that inspired you, something that's, you feel like sort of resonated with you either recently or in the past that sort of kept you moving and you feel like a lot of people would appreciate that. So now I'm putting you on the spot a bit now. I don't know if anything sort of immediately comes to mind.
I think I said it earlier, you know.
Oh, yeah, gone.
Like success is on the other side of
Cringe.
cringe. Yeah.
Perfect.
I would
like
say it's
that.
that.
No,
Because
that's-
that recently I heard that and it's in my head. Because every time I think I don't want to post this, you know, I'm not.
Yeah.
I feel like that as well. You know what I mean? As much as everyone probably thinks, he doesn't care. He probably posts whatever he wants. This, I think that sometimes. Do you know what I mean? And there's people also telling me like, P, you should do this, you should do that, you should do that. And I'm just thinking, you reckon? So it happens to everybody. So success is on the other side of cringe.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
strong. That's a strong one.
What you got?
Cool. All right, guys. So my one reads, the most important thing is this: to be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become.
I quite like that, actually.
Yeah, and that's by Eric Thomas, someone who I kind of listened to. I've recently
deep, man.
started getting back into it. But just, if you want to achieve certain things in life, you have to sacrifice the person you are today. Because the person you are today is not going to be the person who gets you to where you want
need
to
to
be.
be.
You know, it's that picking up good habits, the discipline, like the consistency, everything that you're not now, who you need to be. And you need to sacrifice that. So
I quite like
yeah,
that.
I feel like
that's
that
proper.
hit me, man. I feel like I'm transitioning right now. Having to like shed who I am right now to go to the next level, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah.
So quickly, my one is, instead of focusing on how difficult the journey will be, think about how great your story will be. And that's pretty much hitting on a lot of, you know, what you said, P, in just terms of like how at the start it wasn't necessarily something that you wanted to do. It wasn't something that you thought to do. You was on the finance route as well. You were sort of, you know, supporting your cousin's brand as well. And now you sort of found like a little niche, something for yourself, where you created a community, you started collaborating from brands, you started putting yourself a lot out there now, and it's reaped like serious fruitage, like, you know, the fruits of your labor, right? So I definitely think, you know, and sometimes I'm big, like, I don't care about the journey, but I feel like ultimately as well, it's like, no matter what you're going through, you know, the stress, the strife, like, you know, P just even said that there's been people who've been doing this for 10 years, finally just reaping results. And there's people who've been doing it for 10 weeks. So like, you know, as we always say, sort of comparison is the thief of joy. So like, again, sort of focus in your own lane, on your own story and your own journey. And then when you think back and you can look over your shoulder and think, flipping, oh, that was a sweet ride, you know. But yeah, guys, that's today's episode.
I like that.
Hope
26.
you guys appreciated that. And again, please, guys, another round of applause for Uptown P.
Thank you for coming on.
For
Appreciate
blessing
it,
us in the
guys, man.
studio. Thank you so much,
Appreciate
my
it.
bro. So, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode, P. Thank you so much, my bro, for coming on. Really, really appreciate that.
Appreciate it, man.
But
Thank you.
please tell the people, where can they find you? What you're currently working on? What can they expect from you as well?
Okay, so you can find me on most social media platforms, Uptown_P1. So I try to keep that consistent through everything. So that's
There we go.
Insta,
Link in bio.
TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever. And then if you want to see the magazine, it's www.dresscodenation.co.uk. The clothing brand is www.dcnstores.com.
Okay.
Got my
yeah,
DC on.
Oh, rep. Oh, fuck
Yeah,
I
I'm
need to get
saying.
one. I need to
Go to
order
the
mine.
store and get one. Funny enough, I was in the shop the other day and the guy was like, "Where'd you get that hat from?" I said, "DC in the stores, man."
Come
Get
on,
to
man.
know,
That's
you
what I'm
know.
talking
I
about.
said, yeah, bro, man. I said, bro, this is proper. He's like, yeah, the leather and that. I said, no, hard, bro.
Yeah.
Got a rep.
Got a rep.
Cool. But what have you got sort of upcoming? Any sort of like collabs that you can or are able to tell us about?
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a collab. Yeah, this is, I don't even know if I want to be saying this, yeah.
Yeah, go.
But I've got a collab with a pod.
Really?
Okay.
Okay. Is that
Yeah.
European, abroad?
That's all I can say.
that's
say.
all
Some
we
of
can
them
said too
say.
much.
Wait till the ink dries on the paper.
To the funds on the account, bro.
So yeah, that. Obviously, I've got some new collection coming up.
Okay.
What else have I got going on? Gonna probably do a pop-up soon
Okay,
in
nice.
London and in Paris
Wicked.
during
Oh,
Fashion Week.
Nice.
Hopefully. Yeah. Got
Okay.
a next issue of the magazine coming out soon as well.
No, you're busy.
Yeah, man.
But no, I love about P, just so humble with
Literally
it,
too humble.
so humble,
See me.
man. So humble, man.
You see me, I'll be like, I'm on a podcast. I've got a pop-up shop in Central and in Paris. I'm doing everything. I'm up. Like, you know what I mean? But that's just weird. But yeah, guys. But yeah, no, guys, please, we're gonna link all of that as well down below. But please make sure you follow P in his journey and give him thanks for just showing us and a bit of love and appreciation for coming on the pod.
100%. Thank you again, man. We
appreciate you guys,
it,
man.
bro.
Serious, man.
And as guys, please make sure you're always liking, you're always subscribing. Make sure you tell a friend, tell your dad, tell your mum, tell his mistress.
Jeez.
As always, guys, please, love, love, love.
Elevate.